Ready? Yeah. Once they get kicked started, or do you guys want me to introduce you?
Sure, it's all open.
Introduce you guys?
Yeah, you can sign in over here.
All right, everybody, we're going to get started in this workshop. Welcome again to our Art Day celebration. My name is Keith Braveheart, and I'm here on behalf of the Lakota College Humanities and Social Science Department, and I'm also one of the faculty members for the Graphic Arts program. And we started this Art Day event last year. We were able to sponsor this through the college, but we also were building partnerships with this event. And so last year we were working with an organization in Rapid City, Racing Magpie, which is also actually hosting a session up in Rapid City right now as well too, simultaneously. But today and this year we're actually very happy to be working with the Oglala Lakota Art Space now as a new partner. And so through their sponsorship, they've brought in 2 artists for this workshop, which are going to be the 2 artists that I'll introduce now, who are very awesome artists in my opinion. I really enjoy their work a lot. I also really acknowledge Richard Redall, first of all, as a really legendary Lakota artist. He is very renowned. And so give him a round of applause, guys. I know he likes that. But he definitely deserves it a lot. Because he has a very extensive career as a painter primarily is how I know his work, but I was very happy to know more about his other expertise and some of his other diversity, and that he can make sculptures. And this isn't something that I don't think he promotes a lot about himself and puts out there into shows, but when we were talking about it, he knew exactly what it was. When I brought up the idea of bone horses and wire cowboys is what we were calling them. But this art form goes all the way back to historical times with the ancestors of our Lakota people. They used to make these items that we call toys, but they were much more than just toys. They were kind of containers for how our ancestors taught their children or the next generation. They gave them different history lessons, but they also were contemporary expressions that just showed the lifestyle that they were living. So they would take these pieces of the bones that came really especially from the leg of the buffalo, and right kind of at the joint area where they call them like the hoof bones, or I think they call them the cannon bones. But they used to take those pieces. Do you mind if I grab one, Richard? Yeah. And this is what they look like. So Richard will also kind of go over this a little bit more, but I just wanted to show you guys what we're referring to. But they'd make these items that would be considered toys. We would see them with the imagination as horses. And so over the time, the lifestyle of the people changed. And with that came different kind of eras, different generations, but also identity changes as well too. And so we also are happy to promote that there's a significant time period and also great representation of these artists about the Lakota cowboy era as well too, which many are probably familiar with. And so you see that there was a time then when these figures changed from maybe being the ancient Lakota, but much more the contemporary modern Lakota, the rodeo cowboys, those that were riding horses and the rodeo, but also maybe just continuing to show that they had the stability now to also operate their own ranches, their own livestock as well too. And so when I talk with Richard, he tells about the stories about how he would imagine these as part of his I guess future for having his own corrals with different herds. He'll explain that more. But then I also want to acknowledge Clifford as well too. He's a great artist here at the Art Space, and I'm very happy to see him get a chance now to work with Richard, but also for him to share his voice with you all as a really diverse artist in his own right. He's not only just artist who works with, how I see it, as like leather work, but he does many, many great works of art. And so today, these 2 artists will be working in collaboration to share their stories, but also guide you along in making these little wire figures, however you want to create these wire figures for yourself. So I'll turn it over now to Richard for his story.
I will stand up here. First of all, I'll take you way back. I'm 84 years old now. So when I first was introduced to these, I had some uncles. We all lived together. They was maybe 3, 4, 5 years older than I, but they introduced me to these. and that's what they used for horses. So actually, in my time, it's been 75 years ago since I learned how to do this. That was a long time. But like I said, my uncles were a little older, and they showed us where to get these and whatnot. We used to walk the prairies, and they had what buffalo wallows. They call it buffalo wallows. If you look out on a prairie, these kind of deep holes like that, here and there, that's what buffaloes used to come down from the Black Hills, and they would roll around in that dirt, and they would make these holes with their horns and roll around in there. So that's what they call buffalo wallows. And that's where we used to get these bone horses, because they come out of the ankles right by the hoofs here. This here comes out of the hoof, and it hooks on like this, and it's ankle. But I remember my uncle used to show me how to do that. Some of them still had flesh on them when they're cows. They found cows' bones. So they used to take them home, take an old coffee can, boil them all day. And then in the nighttime, you light that old kerosene lamp up. Kids would be sitting around scraping them, cleaning them off real nice. So we all had our entertainment, And to be late at night, we'd be doing that, scraping them off and everything. No radios, no TVs, no nothing. So, yeah, but it was a lot of fun, We had to make fun of what we had. Because there was no toys. I remember our grocery stores down in Kyle. You walk in there, they didn't have anything. Maybe a couple barrels and then the sacks of flour, and maybe on the shelves, just oatmeal, just a few things, tobacco. That's about all they had in them stores. So actually we didn't have any candy or anything like that, I don't even know when we started eating candy. I know there was only about 2 stores in Kyle where they had electricity. There was Christensen's old store. They had a wind charger with batteries, and that's how they got their electricity. Right across the street there where Lakota Fun is, well, there used to be an old store there, Vasu's store right across the street. There used to be one right there where Lakota Fun used to be. And they had a light plant. And you could hear this light plant going 24 hours a day. And that's where they got their electricity. Then up to the school, they had a light plant too. And they had a water tower back there. So everything was produced of what natural resources look like, And the school growed their own food. Where the football field and everything was there, that's where they used to have gardens. Geez, they used to produce a lot of stuff out of there. And my grandmother was one of the main cooks in the Kyle school at that time. And then my great uncle, Sherman, he was a janitor there, and he took care of the school. And the only heat they had was coal. They had big furnaces in the basement, and he would take care of that and throw coal in there, keep that school warm. So everything was a job. So yeah, and for kids too, we used to make these, go down to the creek, make trails and everything around the salt banks and everything, and that everybody had their own little ranch, and so we spent all day down there. Never thought about snacks or dinner time or anything, we'd get up in the morning, eat a pancake, take off down the creek. Either go swimming or just play along the banks. But this was our toys, this stuff here. And I think if everybody wants to try one, this is what we're looking for. This is the skeleton, you could say. But actually, too, horses like this, we used to make them, but we used rags. And about the only thing we had is our old grandma always had rags and stuff, so we'd strip them and then wrap our horses with it. You know, that's how we got that. But these were made out of tape. Cat'll help you. We put little decorate them, you know. I guess when you were kids, everybody wanted to be a cowboy, you know. Everybody wanted to be a cowboy. And so that's why we got into something like this. But we put little chaps on there and everything. But in those days, boy, material was hard to find. Copper wire or leather or anything was hard to find. So it had been 75 years ago that I started doing this stuff. And then later on, I never did think of art as a possibility of making money, a living out of it. You know, because we didn't know. We just paint and draw just because for entertainment for ourselves, I guess you could say. But later on, you was introduced to all these fancy, different kind of paints, acrylic paint, oil paints, and that. Then we went a little further, especially myself, self-taught, you know. So, but I had a lot of older people that I traveled with and went to art shows. They would always tell me what type of paint or anything else to use. So that's where I learned how to paint. I still don't call myself an artist because I think I paint for myself. And if people like it, then I take it to the different art shows. And if they like it and buy it, that's okay. But if they don't, well, you know. But it's a part of me because I keep these old ideas. I had the opportunity to meet a lot of older people, the chiefs, Oliver Red Cloud, and Johnson Holy Rock, and all the old leaders, the American horses, all the old people. There wasn't nothing down through here. There was one little log house sitting along this creek, and that's where Pawnee Leggins lived. Then Fool's Crow lived back over here. But there was just one little old wagon road through here. And now look what we have here. Everything. Made a whole town out of it. But there wasn't nothing here. And every time we went to do, they had movies out here at Vasos. There used to be a Catholic church out there. Well, there used to be an old traveler, and he had movies. He used to go around to different towns, set his tent up, sell popcorn and stuff like that, you know. And then he had movies. But the only way we got to go out there was if we were horseback. Everybody used horses a long time ago. Even the old people, when they go into town, they'd use a wagon, you know. These old people, they just have a few cents in their pocket or something. Just get the main items they needed at the store. And then sometimes they'd buy a pop, orange pop was their main treat. But that's what I know all these old people around here, you know, a long time ago. Now I don't know anybody, so I ask them who their folks was or who their grandpa was, and then I know where they come from, you know. But looked like there was everybody's related. Your grandkids say that they're found a girlfriend or something. So I said, no, that's your cousin, you know. So, everyone, you really got to watch out anymore.
Hello, everybody. I'm but a boy compared to Richard. Very humbled and excited to work alongside Richard. I've known Richard as an artist. In my mind, inspiration to see a painting on a wall and know who the cowboy is. And that's kind of how I grew up, inspired by art my whole life. Always wanted to be an artist. And I've always kind of found characters or role models to show me the way, or well, to lead by example. And so I don't really know much. I've not played with these figures myself specifically, but I have heard stories about them throughout the years, even all the way back to whenever I was a kid. I used to make kind of some of the figures like with the tape and wire if I didn't have them. But for the most part, I would have these little bull figures, and then I would use G.I. Joes to be the cowboys, and then use the rubber band to make sure they stayed on for at least 8 seconds. Yeah. And that's kind of the relation that I have to these. But that was something that growing up in Rocky Ford, you had to make do. So sometimes it would be a Barbie, right? But whatever you had, just to make sure that it's a cowboy and a bull. And so I have some leather here for some of the things like the shaps and maybe to make a saddle. I'm kind of more just an assistant today to help Richard. That's the way I feel anyway, because of his expertise. So yeah, if anybody needs any help, let me know.
If you all come up here and take a sample and try it. And this is what we're going to try to do first. This is the skeleton part of it. So we got copper wire and up. And if you women don't want to hurt your potato peeling fingers, we got pliers up here.
Skinny guy like me.
Yeah. Sneaky.
So are you making saddles then? Are you doing golf saddles? Do we do it from other stuff?
Yeah, I got some leather to cut out. I can, and then some leather for shaps.
Got some enough there.
Okay. You guys need more, we have these.
Okay, cool, thank you. Are these for the bodies?
Yeah.
Okay.
somebody like bring up like some
Did they get couple, right? This is what they used to play like this.
Richard, do you want to show them how to do one first, and then they can follow up, show them how to do one?
Yeah, I was nervous to come out. I didn't know if there was anyone here that I would know. I actually know Catelyn and Helene. She was actually done one too.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. The writer. Yeah. No,
Check it out.
Heath is my teacher, so I was telling him about how I know you because you were in the movie. So, yeah.
Charlotte's not one to brag, but she's really awesome.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Horse relative.
Yeah, I love her. She's in my life. Yeah.
Maybe you get the start going for doing the horse.
Yeah.
Is it one piece of wire or is there a couple pieces?
I think it's one piece, but I was just now going to try and make one.
I think I want to go about it just like he did it.
The master probably just does it on one piece of wire.
That's why I want to be a master.
But I mean, that's also just Richard's example of having your own. If you need anything, guys, just ask, and we can get stuff for you, materials, and take questions.
Oh, yeah.
Never do something like that.
I was actually thinking coffee too.
Help yourselves.
Long day, isn't it?
Hey.
Oh yeah.